This is part 3 of the Burger Time restoration here, and today we're gonna put the stencils on the side, and we're gonna do the black. And at the same time we do the black stencils, we're going to do all the black on the interior here. And so, first thing I'm gonna do is, this is some of the paper I used when I wet sanded the Burger Time in the first place. This is 320 grit, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sand all the interior areas here with 320 to try to remove some orange peel. You can kind of see a little bit of orange peel up there, see that? So I'm going to remove all this, make it nice and smooth. It's going to be smoother than it was from the factory, but that's okay. That's okay. I like to go overboard sometimes. But yeah, let's start sanding. You can go nuts. I mean, you don't want it to be like an automotive smooth finish. So I probably shouldn't sand this much, but I want it nice. I want it too perfect. What? That's that. Okay, I'm going to wipe this down with some rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to keep on wiping it over and over and over until it is dust free, till my cloth is free of dust. Put the whole thing down. Now when these came from the factory, they kind of had a fuzzy line of where the black was separated from the mustard orange. So what I'm going to do is, what I usually do up here, is I'll get a piece of double-sided tape and I will stick it to here on a piece of cardboard. Okay, and I'm going to get that right about there, and when I spray, it's going to give me that fuzz effect just like it did from the factory. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides. Already got it lined up. This is gonna look sharp. I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side. I put the other side on here, and my wife, she's peeling away the masking on this side. There's a bunch of tiny little spots that you have to make sure stick to it. Like you see all those little sesame seeds? There's a little, you know, there's a circle around each one. That's going to be black. And there's tiny little spots, like these little spots on the buttons and so on. And I'm just not patient. I'm not patient. And so this is where my wife kind of kicks in, and she kind of makes sure it is done right. Now this one, when I spray the black, I am not going to take this off while it's tacky. This is going to have to be a total dry, you know. But that's okay. It's all masked off. I sanded all the black, wiped it down with rubbing alcohol, and we are ready to paint. Looking good, looking good. Tell you what, man, this is a complex stencil for on the black. Look at all that. I had to make sure none of that would stick off. Actually, my wife did this side, and I did the other side. And then we masked around it. And remember that cardboard I was talking about earlier? See that little gap? Some overspray is going to get through that gap and make that soft spray look that that these games had from the factory. We could see that or not. You see that gap? And so yeah, it's all sanded down, ready to go. And let's start painting. Okay, I got my Rust-Oleum black here. And Rust-Oleum black covers really well, so I should be able to get away with a really thin coat, which would be nice because the thinner the coat, it'll look better, as long as it covers all the way. But one interesting thing to note about Bally Midway games is when they did black, like in Pac-Man, all right, first off, they sprayed it. They stenciled it, okay? And then when they did the black, they silk screened the black. That's how they were able to get all the crazy details that I was showing you earlier. It's actually, from the factory, it was a silk screen. But, yeah, can you imagine trying to stencil that down here? It's impossible. Yeah, so it was a silk screen from the factory. And, you know, because back in the day they used big sheets of brass or aluminum or whatever they used, and it was cut, and they just stuck the sheet on there, did a half-ass spray job, and then moved to the next game, and on and on and on. But okay, let's get some black on this thing. Oh yeah, I can definitely do a thin coat of this. I'm doing the sides first. Because if I get any overspray on the front, it's not that big of a deal. I can definitely get it in one coat, but I don't want to dust it. At the same time, I want it to have that wet look. That's since I'm doing one coat. Yeah, if you spray it and it has that dusted look, it's going to dry with that dusted look. It's called dry spray. Oh yeah, this is going to look great. Tough stencil, Burger Time is. I'm going to reposition the lights because I don't have a good angle to see what has been sprayed and what hasn't been sprayed. You know what? I'm going to leave the lights off. The gloss was throwing me off. That's better. I want to do the thinnest coat possible and still actually cover. One thing I noticed is that black dries a lot faster than other colors. Not sure why. I don't know if it's because it retains heat because it's black or what. I do know Henry Ford, he painted most of his cars black because black dried faster for him. Not really sure why though. That is looking beautiful. Let me go ahead and get the other side. I'm not even half empty with this black can of black. A lot of little pieces in this stencil you have to make sure are stuck on. Crazy. Hey Kelly,
Yeah.
can you shake up another can of black?
Yes, it is.
One thing I like to do is this can is about 3/4 of the way empty right now. And I don't like to use the very bottom of the can. The reason why is because when the pressure starts dropping, your can starts to sputter, and I want the finest mist I can get, and you get that with the higher pressure of a full can. I'll use the rest of this can on something else where I don't mind sputter, like maybe a coin door or something like that. I'm getting a little low for comfort. I'm going to go ahead and swap cans. My arm is getting tired. I'm so fat. Looking good, looking good. I know sometimes, this isn't done it yet, but I know sometimes with these stencils, when they get wet with the paint softens the stencil, and sometimes it'll lift up on you. So if you ever see that, what I do is I immediately stop painting and get a heat gun and kind of just, or a hair dryer if you want, let what's there dry and heat it up. And when you heat up vinyl, it shrinks. And also the adhesive gets more tacky, and you can, so it's two good things. It'll shrink a little bit to get rid of any wrinkles, and it'll be more adhesive while it's hot to stick back down. That's looking great. Let me get the front. I might need to turn the light back on for that one. I wiped this down, wiped it down, wiped it down again. I really don't want any dust in the front. I got this a little smoother than I probably should have, but that's okay. I want it to look pretty. Let me get something to put underneath the cabinet so I can, so I don't leave any marks on the floor. This is already black, so I barely have to touch it. I'm just barely coating this sucker. See, before I rolled on some black so I can sand it, and wet sand it and whatever, you know. not too worried about any overspray when I do this because from the factory they left some overspray. I mean, you know, they didn't care what the inside looked like so much. Nice and dust-free, no lint. Just what I wanted to see. I like to give a little more on the corners just for good measure because the paint doesn't like to go in the corners so well. That's looking great. Okay, I went ahead and sprayed the front, and let me put this thing up for the night, and tomorrow I'll peel the stencils off. It's been a couple days, and that paint has dried, and I went ahead and I took off the border around this, and I still have to totally do all this, but yeah, so let's get started. Let's pull off this stencil. I'm going to take off this cardboard, see if I have the effect I wanted. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to see.
Hey Jay. Yeah. You still doing your video?
Yep.
Oh,
Hold on. Oh, I got a lot to peel. You guys get the idea. Well, I did some more peeling. I still didn't get it all. I gotta get a lot down here. Some of this crap needs to come out. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's something here that has to come out. I think so. But it's actually kind of hard to tell where the vinyl is. So it's hard to pick out exactly what needs to be picked out. There's a lot of little tiny spots all over this stencil. Really hard to clean up when it's done. But I'm going home. I'm done for the day. I still have to, you know, tomorrow my wife will be here, and she will love to do this. Not me though. But that's it. This is the next day, and I told you she'd like this, right, Kelly? She's got her headphones on. But yeah, looking good. Nice clean edges. Now there's gonna have to be some touch up here and there. See if I could find it. Aha. And put a little spot of black in there. That's because I dug my fingernail into it trying to get the, I thought this was the vinyl and I was digging at it. And down here, I have to touch up that black right there. I must have yanked it off with the stencil. No big deal. Yep. So today we're going to do the artwork on the kick plate. As soon as she's done with that, we're gonna take this sucker off. And there's also one more thing we gotta do. I gotta put the pepper, the black around the P for pepper. See that? I don't know why they didn't include this with it. They should have added this to the one stencil. Maybe this was an afterthought. I don't know, because I did all the black and this P was completely covered off. So they could have put it there, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to put this stencil on right here. I'm just gonna kind of yank it and try to do it freehand. This is so small. We'll see here. As soon as I peel this off. There's no alignment marks for this, so I almost have to do it freehand. But P for pepper. Way off. Well, it's a little warped. I'll show you guys what to do with that. Heat gun. Closer there. The heat gun shrinks the vinyl. I can just shrink those wrinkles right out. Okay. And one little spot I don't like so much, but that's okay. Alright. It may look a little wrinkly, but the heat gun shrunk it on the edges right where it counts. So I'm going to do the very last part of the stencil here on the sides. That is just black. Okay guys, we got the black painted here on the P, and we are ready to do the front stencils. But that's going to be next video. If you guys like what you see, subscribe, leave some comments, and have a good day.